Well, it's just that time of year again, and lawnmowers is what I have going on. So hang out with me today as we tune up this 48-inch Husqvarna. So a friend of mine brought me this riding mower. He said a friend of his give it to him. All he had to do was come get it. So he was excited about that, but now he's brought it to my house and asked that I would tune it up for him. So I got on Amazon and just ordered one of those little tune-up kits. Comes about everything you need. So now I know what you're thinking. Those little tune-up kits have little cheap generic parts. Why, yes they do. But that ain't the point of this video. What I'm wanting to do is just get this lawnmower tuned up for a buddy of mine that's trying to save some money. I don't normally wear gloves, but I had to put some on in this case. This thing had been leaking oil for no telling how long, and it's all over the place. It has made a mess. Now, when I start a tune-up job, draining the oil is always step number one, because that's going to take the longest. It's going to drain for several minutes. I'll be done with about everything else, and this thing will still be draining oil. This air filter has seen better days. I cover the intake with my hand so I don't blow all that trash inside the motor. Remember to pinch the line off with a pair of vice grips before you replace the filter, or gas is going to run everywhere. And pay attention to which way the arrow is pointing. That way you don't get the gas lines crossed up. I'm going to save this burn up motor oil. I'll reuse this stuff later. I'll use it as bar oil and run it through my chainsaws. So wow, these spark plugs were well loved on. I'm going to go ahead and replace those with these. These came with the kit. I don't know what name brand they are. I don't even think they had a name brand on them. But I'm going to stick them in there anyways and see how well they do. But if you look at this side here, when I pull this thing off, dust goes everywhere. I could tell by some of the evidence of the motor itself, this thing had been sitting for quite a while. I clean out the spark plug boot before I stick it in there. I can't believe I didn't have any contact cleaner, so just good old air pressure I have to work. Okay, we need to fix a flat tire. But before I go any further, I had to walk around and move my fan. It's blowing this soapy water right back in my face. So in case you don't know what I'm doing, I'm spraying the tire with soapy water. And if there's air leaking out of the tire, it's just going to make bubbles, which you see right here. This is a little plug kit. And from my experience, what I like to do is go ahead and get one of the plugs put on the tool before I do anything else. Because this takes just a minute. You kind of got to squeeze it and work it in there and squeeze it and work it in. You can probably grab some needle nose or something to help kind of cram it through there. The next thing I do is overfill the tire with too much air. And then instead of using that little file, I'm just going to drill a hole through here. Now you can use that file if you want to and whittle on that tire the rest of the afternoon. But I've done learned something. Grab a drill and just drill the hole out. Then grab your tool because it's all ready to go and just cram it in there. Now once you get it in there, twist it 2 or 3 times and then pull it out. That's all there is to it. So after you get your plug in, refill the tire with some air and then put some more bubbles on there and check for any leaks. Don't see no bubbles. This one's ready to go. While I have the mower in the air, I'm going to check the spindles and all the idle pulleys, make sure the bearings are good. But these blades are shot, so we're going to pull these off and sharpen them. If you noticed, I put just a tiny squirt of WD-40 inside my impact. If you've never tried that, try it on something, and you'll see it'll hit so much harder. Or if you're using little grinders or something, it'll make them spin a lot faster. Now you don't have to, but you'll be glad you did if you'll just put a little anti-seize on these bolts that hold the blades on. These things will zip right out next time you go to take the blades off. So now I'm going to take the wheels off and I'm going to go around and grease some of these spindles. These things are dry. They ain't got no grease in them, and it doesn't take but just a second. replacing that old wore out battery with a new battery. But that ain't the only thing that needed to be replaced. The nuts and bolts that held the wires on wasn't much to look at. So I'm going to replace it with these. That should give a much better connection. Alright, here goes nothing. See if she'll start. Ah, it's running great. That's what I'm talking about. Looks like them cheap aftermarket parts might work after all. But who knows? Time will tell. But y'all, like always, thank you so very much for watching here at the house.